life is very beautiful when you just allow nature and others that support you to assist you in that growth and development.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Finding that support system is really, really
yeah,
priceless.
it's out there too. It's everywhere. There's people all over the world that are understanding what's going on internally, externally, politically, spiritually, um, on this planet. So people are coming to the forefront to fight for what's right. They're fighting for humanity. They're fighting for their children. They're speaking and allowing themselves to be in their purpose.
Hmm.
So, also what you listen to, the music, we all know this music that they're putting out now is shit. So, it's not just it's not just the words they're saying, because your voice is your first instrument. So
True.
you have to learn how to utilize that. But also when you're speaking, somebody's listening. What are you saying to them that's being embedded in their subconscious?
Hmm.
So they're keeping this programming. So we're biocomputers. So all
Hmm.
of this information is being stored and it can come up later. So you have to allow yourself and afford yourself the environment to hear things that will support you, like binaural beats or good music, spiritual music, or I love house music. I love house music, but I prefer music with no words because I want to create my reality, and I want the music to talk to me. So I'm not big on words. But everybody has their own experience because there's great soul music out there. You have great music. There's a lot of people out here that have great music, and I always tell my children you have to be mindful. It's the program. They have music videos to show you the visuals along with the music, and it's captivating your whole brain. And your frontal lobe is not even developed all the way yet. You're still learning how to deal with your own emotions. So it's like flickered. The flicker rate is so fast. You can't even
Yeah.
tell what's coming, all the light and the processing that has to be done. And then the sound, and it's just left and right hemisphere going in all areas. And then you're
Yeah. It's.
wondering why these children are suffering.
Hmm.
So it's what you're consuming. We got the food,
So there's a misuse of the
the frequency.
technology and the frequencies that are made available.
Absolutely. The colors, the sounds, the light, and putting all of that together. I mean, Edward Bernays, I have two of his books here. I didn't even need to finish his books because I've studied it for so long. It's just a repetitive follow of his programming and how to utilize doublespeak and
Hmm.
also to utilize communication and how to put people in a state of fear when really we should be operating in this love space. Like, I love
Hmm.
this. I love all of this, really. This whole area right here is an area that I work with a lot because we have to understand how we're communicating,
Yes.
what we're putting our intentions to, what we're putting in our body, in the seat of our soul, our spiritual center that connects everything from the ground
Hmm.
to the ceiling or to the sun and stars, and then to the earth and whatever's below. So when you work in this area, this box, and I'm saying box specifically because you can open this box, and this is something I have to share with people. This area right here is so special because this is where all the information comes in before you're born. This is the umbilical
Hmm.
cord connection to your mother. This is all the organs start to form in this section. This has its own space. In Ifa, we call it Ori. This is another
Hmm.
space. This deals with one thing and this deals with another. So we as earth people have to make sure that we utilize this box and work on it, allow it to be open so that we can understand, feel, and assist our brothers and our sisters here that are walking on this planet. So just it's so important what we consume. It's so important. It has to benefit. It has to be love. It has to be
I,
life.
I agree. I agree 100%.
Yeah.
It's absolutely true what you're saying. And I vibe with that. It's interesting because uh, now that you're saying this, working on the album, finishing the album, and I've noticed that I went and got me a couple of snacks. Um, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, my connection is acting up. Why? Let me see.
Oh no, I hope I'm not the only one left.
No, no, no. You're here. You're good. You're good. You're good. Because I
Yeah.
had to turn off the. Sometimes I don't know why it switches from my Ethernet to the Wi-Fi, which shouldn't be the case. By the way, let me just it's disconnected. Cool. You got me. You can hear me properly.
Yes.
So I was like, let me just get. I felt like grabbing a few snacks, um, little stuff like biscuits, whatever. And it's interesting what you were saying about sugar and its impact and its influence on you. And I would agree with you. I think there's got to be something connected with swings related to sugar. You know, and I have been consuming a little bit more sugar than I usually do. With those little snacks, and you get a little this and a little that. Oh là là, papa que chamoukoulou coucou, quelle donation! Ah! He said, lots of love
Oh,
for
thank you.
Nikki. Ah là là, beloved. Ooh, Papa K, le sponsor est de retour. The return of the number one sponsor.
Keisha, man.
And so,
It's
and
been-
it's interesting because I've been feeling a little bit, a little bit, low for no reason. And as I cut down on the sugar, because obviously I was like, and I had some snacks. I was like, I'm done eating that shit. I felt it was my body was literally telling me this is just not good for you. Just leave it alone.
Mhm.
And so I switched to just getting back to some normal diet, and I can see, for example, today I had no like yesterday and today I had nothing sweet, um, and yeah, this evening I feel like my system has recuperated for some reason, and I've noticed that maybe I'm making it up. I don't think so because I'm very well in touch with myself, but yeah, man, so I concur with you. Sugar is it's the root of all evil, huh? Especially when what happens to your system. The truth
Yeah.
is, it's true. Like anything too much sweet, and I love my sweets. I prefer salty food, but I do like my man, Ben and Jerry's or some of these like nasty
Ugh.
things.
I'm a savory girl. I love oregano and thyme and rosemary and ginger and
I got you. That's all sweet and lullaby and all
oh, but
that.
it's
But I like me some of that creme fraiche.
no, I love fruit.
Uh,
I love mango. I'm a mango whore.
I'm with
I
you.
eat
I'm with
mango
you. I'm a big
every
watermelon and mango
oh,
consumer.
watermelon too. And the watermelons we have here are as big as like my whole torso.
Damn.
And you can make juice for days and you can plant the seeds and I have watermelon growing out in the yard right now. Hopefully it makes it
Nice.
because it's August
That's
and the
right.
season's almost over. But I mean it's fruit is so good. But I love cookies. I do love cookies.
You
That's
see, you
I
see.
love cookies and I love chips. So that
So
is my weakness.
you
We
feel
all
me?
have our
So
weaknesses, yeah.
so every once in a while I have some of those Cheetos.
Ooh.
Is it Cheetos or you know? I guess what? Yeah, I think Cheetos. Yeah. And now they made them spicy, and I was like, oh god.
Oh
But
yeah.
if I have like a little craving, I know not to go to the mall uh, and do grocery shopping with an empty belly. I don't do it, but sometimes it happens that I haven't eaten and I have to go quickly while I'm running errands, whatever. And I just see that bag and I'm like, shit.
Oh yeah. Well, the food there is good too. When I had my opportunity to visit, I lost
Yeah,
weight eating. I
yeah,
lost
because
weight
the
eating.
food here can be great, and even the chips and all that. It's made differently. It's different. There's still, I guess, some humanity that is transmitted in the process of making
No, Europe
the
Europe
foods.
has this thing with food. Even when I was growing up in Germany, the bread was different. The pasta was different. And I want to talk about that too for a second.
Please go ahead.
The bread,
Yeah,
the
bread
bread
is
here,
dangerous,
the bread here is dangerous.
but here too, you know.
Not, I mean, I rarely eat bread here because the wheat we have here is called Franken wheat. I don't know if that's like that across the planet, but I ate it when I was over there. So this wheat here has been processed, genetically engineered over and over and over again to the point where it's literally damaging our body. It's extremely acidic. It produces inflammation. It's not good for your gut health. And it's just not in its natural form. Real oats.
I concur. I concur because there was some stuff that I bought, like some biscuits and stuff that I made with, I guess, that kind of wheat. The moment I eat one of those, I can sense it when it falls into my system, in my system. 2 hours later, not even, I'm starting to have acid reflux, like really
Mhm.
heavy burns. Yeah, I
Yeah.
can dig that.
So if you think about the food, you have your food, you have your environment, you have your phone, TV, computer, and all the propaganda. You have the public school system. You have your parents who are paying attention to the news and they're feeding you the same propaganda because they believe it. How do you get out of that cycle? How do you become healthy? How do you
But then
keep
everything is propaganda, Nikki. Because then you are also pushing a certain agenda as well. So my
Well,
thing
that is
is,
true, but it's to get back to the natural state. The thing is to come back to center, come back to your natural state as much as possible because everything
okay,
outside of nature is not natural. That's how I feel about it. But everybody needs to do, like I said, what they need to do. But there's going to come a point on this planet where people are going to be tired and they're going to know and understand to a point where they will fight because so many people are having dis-ease and they're coming down with things that don't make sense. It does nothing makes sense. And the things and the ways that I've had to help people before I even came across this information, just intuitively understanding, seeing what's in their kitchen, seeing what's in their household, seeing what the communication is and how it's creating more stress and distress in their body. Just it makes sense. Everything. It's all working together to dumb us down and to keep us enslaved and sick for the system. So until you free yourself from
mm,
that aspect of it,
I guess I see your point, especially in America. This is very very
it's bad.
visible. You see that because I mean, when I have American channels here at home, and whenever I put like maybe like the what's that network for the where the anyway, forgot the name of it. But there's commercials literally every 15 minutes.
Oh yeah, and it's always insurance, pharmacy, or yeah, or
Exactly.
yeah.
Or
It
gardening or
yeah.
anything related to food. So
No,
there's gonna be something that's
you can't get it up. Here's a pill for this. You got a heart problem. There's a pill for that. Call us.
but and then
And then
and
they
there's
have the
caution.
disclaimer.
There's a disclaimer. Exactly.
They have that long disclaimer where the guy's talking fast so you don't understand them. Just come get it. And then you have McDonald's. You got all
And
the
they have Whoopi Goldberg promoting that one specific drug. It's like,
yeah.
I take this for my heart or some shit like that. It's like, you know,
Yeah, you got McDeath, you have Taco Hell, you have, because we have all these names for it now. We call them meal deal places. So you get a meal deal, you're literally killing yourself. Yeah, Church's Chicken. I mean, there's so many. When I was in Europe, I didn't see a lot of fast food restaurants like that. I saw like
there is, but
mom
it's
and
not.
pop
Yes,
businesses, people that create these businesses, and they have you can get all kinds of food everywhere, especially in Amsterdam. I really loved it because I could taste the real food. And I said, "Oh, so this is their version of Chinese food. This is their version of falafel. This is, chocolate. Come on, like this all this stuff." And then
yeah, flavors are different.
I got back here in 2018 and I went into a serious state of depression
Mhm.
because I'm back at it again in this cycle. Back at work, serving toxic food, in a toxic environment, surrounded by toxic people, these people are doing toxic things, wondering why their life is so bad. And I'm sitting here looking at my people like, what can I do? So
But I think that's really, really something that we're noticing as well, more and more in bigger cities in Europe. Like that same sort of like experience that is revolving principally on toxicity. You know, um, at home, from the thoughts that you cultivate to the people around you, to the Instagram feed that you go through, to everything is just about competition. Getting being validated by people you don't even know, people you don't really like. You shouldn't even really give too much.
Yeah, how many likes do you have? I can work with you if you have this many likes.
Yeah.
She's shaking her ass over here. He's trying to sell a T-shirt that costs $10 for $50. It's just all this stuff, and I'm just like, and my daughters see it, and they're like, "What is going on? Why is she doing this? Why is she dressed like that?" Because I show them, because I filter through Instagram and TikTok to get information, but you have
Mhm.
to go through all this stuff to get all of this information. You have to weed through the bullshit.
But that's the thing. Not everybody is capable of critical mind, of having the capacity to just put something in perspective and say, hey, you know what? Maybe this is not quite right. Maybe I don't know about that.
Yeah. Well, you know what's interesting? Everybody's not supposed to either. They didn't come for that experience.
That's true. Not everybody's
I'm
supposed to.
here,
That's
yeah,
very
I'm
true.
here for this, you're here for that. And people who are ready to experience healing and communication on another level, they'll get to you. And that's
True.
what I'm experiencing when I'm doing my sessions. I have to vet people before they come. I have to ask them a lot of questions, see where their mind is, because I work out of a sacred space and my children are watching me work. And I have clients that come here. So it's not just me protecting my family, it's protecting my clientele as well. So you have a choice when it's time for you to make that choice to involve yourself in the healing experience so that you can remove these things. Everybody's not meant to walk that walk. It's a lonely and hard walk, healing. And it's
Hmm.
and everybody's not a king, everybody's not a god, everybody wants these titles and they don't deal with their shit. And then I see them and people are starting to recognize who's walking authentically in their purpose in light. So everybody's not meant to do that journey. Some people are just here as a number. That's
There's also on that journey, talking about that journey and healing. There's a brother. I was listening to his interview today on Joe Rogan's podcast on Spotify. Brothers Jason Wilson,
Mhm.
and he there's a video of him as a brother that was teaching. There was this kid that was they were like he's a martial art practitioner and teacher, and there was this kid that started to cry. I don't know if you he kind
I
of
saw
like went
that.
viral, and he was like, it's okay to cry, and so this guy is doing quite a lot of great work as far as helping men and young men and little boys, being in touch with their emotions, because this this masculine
Toxic masculinity.
toxic. Well, we didn't use the word toxic because I feel like it's a gimmick, that toxic masculinity. But I mean, for
Yeah,
lack of a
that's what
better
they call
word,
it.
maybe
But yeah, it's
for that
unhealthy aspects of
and healthy manhood, like I would say,
yeah.
and healthy masculinity. Yeah,
Yeah, instead of saying toxic, you're right. Let's move to a space of healthy masculinity.
exactly. By embracing your emotions, by welcoming them, by not dismissing, and the
And
guy,
not dimming people's light for expressing themselves either.
and the brother, wrote this book called, I believe, Battle Cry, and it's
I
all
heard
about
of
that.
that.
Like,
I heard of that.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna order it because I wanna check it out, because I've done this journey myself, also through work and sessions with the good and beloved sister, the Empress Vogue, who has really helped me on that journey. You yourself as well have contributed. A couple of influential women and humans in my life have helped me come to understand, some of the reasons behind the suffering and how to, alleviate that suffering, etc. And
Yeah.
in substance, I would say that, you know the necessity for one to really be um, on the journey to healing themselves is super important. However, having the right people to help that person on that journey is super important as well.
Yes. And
And
it's nice.
talking, go ahead.
It's nice that women are assisting men. I'm shocked at how many men I've worked with so far. And I love it because when you assist a man, he can then assist his woman. He can
Absolutely.
assist the family.
But
Uh,
vice versa, I think it's important
yeah,
because I think also women have been, I don't know if they've been raised, or I don't know if they, like, there's also a sense of dismissing men's emotions and always looking down and always say, well, man up. Oh, well, you got to be strong. Like, sometimes you just can't be strong. Sometimes you need to be able to let go and to be held, in and with love, and not feel diminished because you've manifested some levels of sensitivity, not even weakness, just
yeah.
sensitivity, because it's not weakness.
I
And
was
even if you want to call it this way, then that's okay, because we are just humans. It's okay to be weak at times.
yes, I'm sorry. It's just stuff is starting to flood in, but
Go
even
ahead, yeah.
even when I was growing up and I noticed this and I was doing this with my daughters and then one day it clicked. I said, "No, this is not healthy." Um when you get spanked or, chastised is what they call it here, or disciplined by your parents, and they tell you to stop crying. Why? Why would I stop crying? I'm hurt. Why can I not express myself and let you know that I'm hurt? And then just life in itself, like crying and letting it out. And when clients come here, they do that a lot. They cry and I tell them while we're in session, when I get to this place in their body, they start crying. And I said, okay, you have to let it out and you
Yeah.
can't hold it in anymore. You came here and this is what your ancestors, this is what spirit, all of your comrades are in here. They're providing you a space so that you can do this work so that when you leave here better, more in tune with your mission so that you can assist your brothers. It's almost like you're paying it forward when you do this work with others because
Hmm.
you have the ability to recognize and to assist and you keep moving forward with it.
Absolutely.
So, and not having guilt about crying. Because sometimes when I cry,
Yeah.
especially when I'm expressing myself, I'm like, damn, I cried in front of this motherfucker. Like I'm so like I didn't want to have that moment, but then I think, but it's okay because now they know that I have no fear in expressing myself.
Yeah, yeah.
Therefore, we can have a real conversation. This is what people need and this is what they're looking for.
Yeah.
I shouldn't be judging myself because I allowed myself to free myself from the stress that was in my body and it came out through tears.
Hmm.
I'm not yelling, I'm not cursing, I'm not being violent. If this is the most peaceful way that I can release it and I
Yeah.
can and if I can yell and allow it to come out, then I appreciate that. No one should have shame in expressing themselves. No one should have any shame in expressing themselves when they're healing either. So it needs to continue to be that circle and understanding. And women need assistance from men as well. I'm still seeking men that do the work or similar work that I do without wanting to be sexually active.